Now let's study projective techniques. Now what do you mean by projective? You understand that projective means some unwanted desire is being projected. So projective techniques are those kind of tests which usually use certain materials which project your unconscious motives and undetermined conflict. फॉर एग्जाम्पल एक लड़की थी जिसके बहुत क्लोज फैमिली मेम्बर ने उसको अनवांटेड उसको इनअप्रोप्रिएटली टच किया है, तो अब वो ये चीज़ किसी को नहीं बता पा रही है, तो ये उससे अपने अंदर रिप्रेस कर लिया है. बट दिस इज गिविंग हर अ लॉट ऑफ एंजाइटी, अ लॉट ऑफ टेंशन, अ लॉट ऑफ वरी. सो अब जब उसके सामने कोई ऐसी इमेज प्रेजेंट करोगे जहाँ पे कोई मैन बना हुआ हो जो किसी लड़की को अनअप्रोप्रिएटली टच करो, तो एकदम से उसको वो बात याद आ जाएगी, तो उसका बिहेवियर चेंज हो जाएगा. तो प्रोजेक्टिव टेक्निक्स यही यूज़ करता है, वो इंसान के अनवांटेड जो डिज़ायर होते हैं या फिर जो रिप्रेस्ड डिज़ायर होते हैं, रिप्रेस्ड थॉट्स होते हैं, उनको प्रोजेक्ट कर देता है डिफरेंट स्टिमुलस को यूज़ कर. तो सबसे पहले आते हैं रोशार्क-इंगब्लॉट टेस्ट में. रोशार्क-इंगब्लॉट टेस्ट इज अ प्रोजेक्टिव साइकोलॉजिकल टेस्ट इन विच द सब्जेक्ट्स परसेप्शन ऑफ इंक ब्लॉट्स इज रिकॉर्डेड एंड देन एनालाइज्ड. तो यहाँ पे क्या होता है, हम एम्बिगुअस स्टिमुलस ले रहे हैं, मतलब जैसे इंक के ब्लॉट्स ले रहे हैं जिनका कोई पर्टिकुलर शेप नहीं है. उस शेप को जब हम किसी को प्रेजेंट कर रहे हैं तो उसके दिमाग में जो एक अनवांटेड जो उसके दिमाग में जो सबसे पहले आता है उस इमेज को देखकर वो प्रॉम्प्ट आउट कर देता है. दिस इज डन टू एग्जामिन अ पर्सन्स पर्सनैलिटी कैरेक्टरिस्टिक्स एंड इमोशनल फंक्शनिंग. तो प्रोजेक्टिव टेक्निक में कोई ऐसा स्टिमुलस होगा, फॉर एग्जाम्पल एक बच्चा और एक छोटा सा बच्चा और एक बड़ा सा आदमी उसके बगल में डंडा लिए खड़ा हुआ है. तो एक इंसान जो बहुत अग्रेसिव है अपने यंगस्टर्स के ऊपर, ये जो बुली करता है, उसके दिमाग में सबसे पहले क्या स्टोरी आएगी, दैट दिस मैन इज बीटिंग द यंगर बॉय. सो इससे उसके इमोशनल फंक्शनिंग, उसकी पर्सनैलिटी कैरेक्टरिस्टिक्स प्रोजेक्ट होना स्टार्ट हो जाएंगे. Now let's study the history of Rorschach-Inkblot test. The history says that Swiss psychologist Hermann Rorschach was the one who designed this particular test, but it was only after his death that Bruno Klopfer actually gave a particular structure to the test. Now test description. Test में है क्या क्या, पहले पढ़ते हैं matter. The matter consists of 10 official ink blots, each printed on separate white cards. Each of the ink blots are bilaterally symmetrical. 5 ink blots are black, 2 are black and red, and 3 are multicolored. All the blots are on white background. The blots are completely unstructured, ambiguous and without any meaning. So we have here 5 points in total. Then now we come to the environment. अभी मैटर पढ़ लिया, पढ़ते environment कैसा होना चाहिए इस particular test के लिए. In a relaxed but controlled atmosphere, the tester or psychologist and the subject should typically sit next to each other at a table. Note here the subject should and the psychologist should be really friendly with each other. अब अगर कोई स्ट्रेंजर आपके बगल में बैठा हो तो बहुत ऑब्वियस है कि अगर आप इमोशनली लेडेंड हैं, इमोशनली केज्ड हैं, तो आपका रिस्पॉन्स बहुत रिस्ट्रिक्टेड होगा, या शायद आप रिस्पॉन्स दे ही नहीं, आपको फील ही नहीं हो कि आप कुछ बोलें, आप चुपचाप शायद वहाँ बैठे रहें. So it's very necessary that the person sitting next to you are comfortable with that particular person. Now the subject will be asked to hold the card. He is given one by one and say whatever comes to his mind and to describe the ink blots. तो आपको जब कार्ड्स दिए जाएंगे तो सबसे पहले जो आपके दिमाग में आता है आपको वो बोलना है. आपको ज़्यादा सोचना नहीं कि मैं क्या जो बोल रहा हूँ वो ठीक है या ठीक नहीं है. जो सबसे पहले आए वो बोलना है. You have to say what the ambiguous structure looks like or what it resembles. The subject may take as much time as he or she wants and give as many responses as he or she wants. There's no restriction in this particular test. Whatever comes to your mind, you just prompt it out. No matter how sensible or how insensible it is, you have to say what is whatever comes to your mind. Now the interpretation and scoring process. Whatever response the testee has given, those responses are first noted down. Second, the interpretation is not only based on subject's primary response but the contents of the card, but also his or her initial behavior upon seeking the ink blots, the time taken for the responses, the similarities within the popular responses, and the way the subject holds the card, and many more. So other aspects are also considered. How are you behaving? How are you sitting? What language are you using? Different aspects are also considered. Now let's come to the scoring method. The first point is location. Again, 5 different points are here. Location is what a particular point the testee focuses on. Okay, so there are 5 different locations. First is W. First location is represented by a capital W, which indicates the subject has seen the blot as a whole. Small w indicates that the subject has not seen the blot as a whole but has concentrated on a specific part of the blot. Then the second is small d. Small d indicates that the subject has focused on minor or less important components. Big D indicates that the subject focuses on major significant details. Then last is S. S indicates that the subject's responses to white region within the blocks. So all the blots were printed against a white background. So the subject instead of focusing on the blot, focuses on the white part. Then next, what we note down is the content. Content refers to what information the testee has given us after seeing the ink blot. Does he describe a human form? Next is content. Content refers to what responses has the testee provided us with, or what information does the testee give us after observing the ink blots. First is whether he describes the blot as a human form, which is symbolized as H. Next is animal form, symbolized as A. Next is animal details, symbolized as AD. Then next is human details, which are symbolized as HD. Then we have natural things like rivers, meadows, which is symbolized as N. The subject may also have described the ink blot as an inanimate object such as chair, table. Then what we note down next is the originality. Originality refers to whether the testee has given a popular or unusual response for each of the cards. If the person has given a popular response, it is noted down as P. If he has given a unique response, it is noted down as O. Then we note down the determinants. Determinants refers to how the blot is seen or perceived. For example, if the testee sees the form of the blot, then it is noted down as F. If he has particularly noticed the color of the blot, then it is shown as C. If he has perceived movement, for example, if he describes an ink blot as a bat flying, then that is perceived as M. And if he has focused on shading of the blot, then it is shown as K. Okay, so after all such informations have been recorded, we now start interpreting it. So when the W's exceed D, small d or big D in number, the person is said to be intelligent, mature, or with an ability to synthesize. Number 2, if there is more C, capital C, than capital M, it indicates that the person is extrovert. Number 3, if there are greater number of M than K, it indicates that the person is introvert. Again, if the person focuses more on shading responses, it shows that the person is very anxious or depressed or has a feeling of inferiority. And if the person has given more importance to movement, that is capital M, it indicates that the subject has a strong imaginative power. So now we have completed with the Rorschach ink blot test. If I provide you with a summary of it, first we talk about the history, who built the test, who constructed it, Then we talk about the test description, what is the matter used. Then we talk about how the environment should be set up. Then we talk about the process, what is to be done. Then the interpretation, how the responses are actually interpreted. Then the scoring, which includes different areas that have to be recorded. And then the last is the final interpretation, which states what the personality type is or what are the emotions attached to the person's responses. Now we come to the next test. Thematic apperception test. Thematic apperception test, commonly known as TAT, was prepared by C.D. Morgan and M.A. Hurray. The test here consists of certain pictures which display ambiguous situations, just random situations. They evoke responses unknowingly from the subject by means of an imaginary story. Let's come to test description. The test consists of 31 cards, of which 30 depicts various scenes with human beings as characters, while one card is blank. The cards are then grouped into various sets, one set for boys, one set for girls, one set for males over 14 years, and one set for females over 14 years of age, and one set for both males and females. The test is usually administered in 2 parts with 10 cards in each session. The picture gives vague and indefinite situation. For example, a boy reading a book, a woman watching a girl, just vague situation, and the person has to start narrating a story. This has to be very random. The person does not get a lot of time to plan out an elaborate story, but just has to give elaborate description of what he sees. 3 main aspects are to be covered in his or her story. First, what has happened before, what is happening now, and what will happen after this. Now we come to next, administration. The subject is clearly told that through this test, his creativity is being checked or examined, and there is no right and wrong answers. He can frame whatever he likes and can include whoever and whatever he wants in his stories. This gives a high probability of the subject's own natural likes, dislikes, desires, emotions to be out. For example, there is a picture which has a small boy and a man with a rod in his hand. An aggressive personality will come out with a story that says that the man is beating the boy with the rod. So this portrays his actions, his desires, his emotions. Now, 5 points are to be covered. What is happening in the picture? What has happened before that led to the scene? What will happen after this? What are the characters thinking and feeling? And all these actually describe the feelings and emotions of the testee. Since the subject is not given any time to think, it is assumed that the subject would project his or her unconscious emotions, thoughts, impulses, and anxieties. Now, how to score such a test? The scoring and interpretation is done in the following way. Number 1, hero of the story. This shows his or her personality type. Then other aspects that are to be noted is the theme of the story. It signifies the nature of the plot, the theme that he has used. Is he describing a happy story? Is he describing a sad story where someone is killed? So that may project his unconscious anxiety that is there within him because of someone close who has died, and this may be giving him a lot of stress. Then the style of the story. It includes the length of the story, language used, the kind of narrative. Is he using terms that are very harsh and rude? Then we also examine the content of the story. The content reveals the interest, the sentiments, the attitude, and the behavior expressed and the inner state of mind. So with the content of the story, you may come to understand what the state of mind of that particular person is. For example, there's a picture that depicts a boy simply reading or writing a letter. A person who is emotionally laden, is suffering from anxiety or depression, may see that boy as writing a suicidal note. So his thoughts, his interest, his behavior, all his sentiments is getting represented through the story he or she creates. Then we understand the test situation. The test situation as a whole helps us to understand the reaction of the subject as a whole to the situation that is being presented in the picture, in the card that is given to him. Then we understand the particular emphasis or omissions. For example, if there's a picture which shows a woman watching a girl, maybe because this particular testee is suspicious of his neighbor, he may take this picture as his neighbor watching her. Now, while describing or while creating the story, this person may not give a lot of emphasis on this particular lady because it's creating anxiety because of the fear that is already inside him. So, but the emphasis or the omission that a person does in a story gives a lot of information about his emotions or about his ideas that is there in his mind. Then attitude towards sex and authority. Subject's attitude towards authority and sex is also seen. Then we also note down the outcome, whether the story has a happy end or a sad end. Obviously, if a person is happy from within, he may end up writing a very happy, joyous story with a happy ending. And a person who is depressed or has experienced a bad past may give a story similar to his or her experience, similar to his or her present condition. So this is what projective techniques helps us. It helps us to state our past experiences, our present desires, and our unconscious motives, which gets projected through various different styles. Obviously, projective techniques has a lot of benefit, especially for people who are not very expressive. For example, there's a person who is not comfortable sitting down and narrating the story, may unconsciously narrate the story through the story that he has created in the TAT test. Projective tests unknowingly reveal the subject's unconscious desire, wish, conflict. The projective techniques also give subtle information and important data that may be used by the psychologist to help understand what the testee is facing, which is leading to the disorder that he or she may be diagnosed with in the future. So now we come to the end of the personality test that helps us to understand the various personality within us.